Shake that body, party that body. Don't fuck with ghosts.
Oh, yeah, you are tuned in to the pop off. That means it is Friday. It is another week done. Hopefully, it was a fantastic week for you. If it wasn't, look forward to next week because it's going to be even better. This is a pop off, and we are ready to have some fun. This is here on behalf of the Uptown Sports TV. Listen, make sure you are checking them out on YouTube. And that also means you should be subscribing to us and like sharing us and just like, giving us a thumbs up. Just like us, rate us, let us know how we're doing and participate in the chat. My name is Nigel Deandre. I'm going to be your host today. I am back. Last week I was gone because, brothers got to work, right? We got to work, got to do the thing. So I was on set last week, but I tuned in for a hot minute. You guys did a fantastic job. I missed y'all, but now I'm back. And who are we missing? Well, we're missing Gene. So, just like an NFL football team, there's no way you can front a full team because somebody's got to get injured. So he is down and out with some kind of sickness. So we're wishing him a speedy recovery, and he will be with us next week. But I'm sure he's tuning in. Let's talk to our other bros. What's up, Mr. James Wudi? What's good, sir?
Doing well. So happy that you're back. Welcome back. You were doing big things. All right, Ghost on CBS. Definitely, respect the hustle, respect the grind. I tried to drive this shit, Nigel, but I was like that scene in Austin Powers, stuck between the two walls and trying to do my thing. So I'm glad to see you back in the mix. We missing Gene.
Yeah, we missing Gene, man. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Wudi. Appreciate it. Caleeb, what's up, my dude? Always chilling in that, maxing and relaxing in that couch, huh? What's up?
Yes, sir. That's, what I mean? I got to be comfortable when I'm up here talking with y'all. You know what I mean? I got to be comfortable. Sometimes y'all be saying some BS that I'm like, wait a minute, sit up. I'm like, what did you just say?
Put my feet up while you dummies talk some smack right now.
You know what I'm saying? I know how it is. What's up, everybody?
Well, you know what? We're going to talk smack right now. Yes, Gene, tuning in from bed, guys. Well, yes, get well soon, man.
Get well soon, Gene.
Yeah, for sure.
I told you, leave them damn Colombian neckties alone.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him. No, don't do that to him.
You out there, you know what I'm saying? You got one of them bed bugs, brother.
If you are tuned in, please make sure to comment with us. It's Nigel after Steelers. Yeah, dude, I could not wait. This is, you know what? Thank you. This is a perfect segue because we're going to talk about Nigel's Cap Corner. That's what we're going to call it. Nigel's Cap Corner. That's it. Somebody write that down. This one today brought to you by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this, if you recognize the brand, 1997's own New York staple by a man named Jeff Staple. So this is one of his additions. And with that branded pigeon, we all know because that's the logo right there with the pigeon. And what would a pigeon be without the dookie? The pigeon dookie is right there on the back.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's got the pigeon dookie there. It's a couple different grays. You can't really see it, but some grays and some off-white threads right there. Then you got the yellow NFL shield and, of course, the NE flag on the side. Green UV, black guts, boom. One of my faves. I say that every time. That's because all the hats I wear on this show are faves. But I'm wearing this specifically because Sunday, my Steelers beat up on your Jets. It took a while. It took a while, but we did it.
Russ, let Russ cook.
Oh, God.
Man, but
I got to give him his props. He did his thing. I got to give him his props. I'll just dive in right now. I got to give Russ his props because Wudi's been saying that the whole time. And if I want people to respect me when I was talking about my boy Baker.
yes, honestly.
Then I got to do the same. For Russ. And to be honest, like, I was happy to see that for him because there's just a thing about everybody telling you what you're not anymore and what you can't do. And then for you to go out there on the biggest stage and show it against a team, no disrespect, Gene and Wudi, but against a team that was really trying, really wanted to win that game. Trust and believe it. They wanted to win that game and they got obliterated, right? Like, it was close until it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And And one thing I want to say, shot to George Pickens. Remember the catch with the what? With the what?
Listen.
Did you see that? Listen. It was.
There it is. I was waiting for that.
I'm gonna give
always
you
hating. Always
I'm
hating.
gonna give you that because it's true. He did have a lot of bad throws, but that just shows the level of athleticism those Steelers receivers have. So that's even more of an indictment on my boy Justin, because they wasn't doing it like that for him. He didn't even have the ball in the vicinity of enough for them to be able to do the magic tricks. You know what I mean? So shout out to Rush. It's a good thing. You're in now, buddy. Now you're in. You had your honeymoon. So now everybody's watching. They expect that every week. So listen, that's what happens. You got to step up to the plate now, but I think they will. Will they win the AFC North? No.
They could.
No. Baltimore is going to win the AFC total, but you know what? They actually, maybe, but I doubt it, because I think Russ is still going to show up. He makes meals. He makes bad meals sometimes. Not everything is good.
It's true.
You're
not wrong. But listen, it just goes to show the difference of a decent, or as Wudi would say, serviceable quarterback. I'm not poo-pooing. I'm not doo-dooing on fields. I'm not doing that. It just was like
not like what you had.
I'm not pitching doo-dooing on fields, but you could just see, because the level of experience was raised because of Russ's experience. The guy's won a Super Bowl. Like, he's been there. So just having him drop in, it changed the whole dynamic of the team. Yes, the team felt younger and faster when Fields was in there, but then they felt a little bit more responsible and like down to the playbook when Russ was in there, right? So they run plays, and there's now opening up. Najee finally got over 100 yards and a TD. Like, finally, he was putting together a package that he should be putting together every game. Let's be real. But I think he petered out in like his second season. So it's like, we really need to figure that out. But I digress. Yay, my Steelers. Poo-poo your Jets. Let's move on. Now, what are we going to talk about next? Oh my goodness. I've been saying this almost from the jump. Thursday night football games have been fantastic. And yesterday's was much of the same, to the degree that there was a very controversial play that happened that I don't know if cost the game for the Vikings, but it definitely was a play that could have changed a little bit of the momentum with the time that was left in the game. I'm talking about the Vikings-Rams. Vikings go down and lose to the Rams by a score of 30-20. The Vikings are now 5-2. Rams are now 3-4. Let's talk about that controversial face mask. There was no call that was in the end zone. What do we feel about that? Let's go with you, Wudi.
I mean, it's disgusting. The ref was right there, and my boy Sam Darnold was like this,
looking at the ref. He was looking at the ref.
They pulled his face mask to look at the ref.
Yeah,
he didn't do nothing. I think that did cost the game. I know Jets fans that aren't Gene or myself are saying, Darnold would have lost that game anyway. But no, he actually, has some clutch gene. He has had game-winning drives at every single stop that he's made in the NFL thus far. That's a fun fact. So now here in Minnesota with his best supporting cast, I know they lost to tackle Darisaw, but he was still moving the ball. So I think this was a chance. He was moving his legs, like with the added pressure of losing the tackle. He was using his legs to get out of pressure. And that's what he was in the process of doing until somebody grabbed his face mask. So I think it did cost him the game. The refereeing in these primetime games has been awful. I am not trying to be a homer when I say that Jets-Bills game was horrifically officiated. That was the one with 200 yards of penalties between both teams. I mean, these primetime games, I don't know who we need to sign up to ref. I mean, I can go to Foot Locker right now, pick up a shirt, because the guys who are actually on the field are blowing it. They're blowing it. So they should be ashamed.
Yeah.
Ashamed.
Yeah, that was ashamed is definitely one word. I watched the replay, like I'm sure many fans have, multiple times, and yes, Gene, is very unacceptable. There was a ref right behind, maybe one step over. You got it, Johnny boy. Craziest non-flag. It was wild. There was a ref that was not only like maybe 5 paces behind, 2 paces to the right. And you could see from the camera angle, it's behind the ref. You can see the ref's jersey. You can see the back of his head. He's looking, and you can see clear as day Byron Young taking down Darnold by the face mask, and his whole body twists and turns. Young puts his hands on his head after, which is not a celebration. That was more like an admittance of, oh no, I did it, but maybe they won't call it. And he was right. They didn't call it. Caleeb, you are shaking your head emphatically in agreement.
No, because
what is your observation? Yeah. What's your observation?
1000%.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
He wasn't. This is not an indication that they may not call it. That is, oh shit, they're calling it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
fact.
There was no doubt in his mind that flag was coming. He was expecting to see like 6. You know, sometimes when they throw their flag and the hat, like that's what he was expecting to see. And to his sheer luck, he must have tied it well this week, or his grandmother was praying for him, to where the ref didn't call it, and apparently none of the refs seen it, and it's all over the screen. And I think when those kinds of things happen, right, you miss a call, but you see it, because they do the same thing with a catch or something, right? So the ref doesn't see that the receiver was out, but the crowd's like, no, boo, oh look, and they stop and they look at the replay and they say, oh, that was an incomplete, right? They always do that. But you can't do that with a face mask. Oh, it's not in the rules. That's BS. Like, some things I get. If it's egregious, you have to make the call. If it's not egregious, hey, whatever. But like that was bad. And it's a call that changed the game. Now, I will say this though. The real issue is the Vikings defense. Shout out to Mr. Stafford.
Oh,
he looked, man, listen, he was putting that ball, it was ridiculous. He was slicing and dicing out there. That defense is starting to get exposed. That's 2 losses in a row, right? The offense had a chance to try to tie it, but they would have had to score and get a 2-point conversion, right? Which is not guaranteed. But at the same time, I just feel like it's, yes, that's a bad call. Yes, it should have been made, but had the defense made, like, how about let Stafford throw 3 touchdowns instead of 4, and the game would have been different. You know what I mean? Like, so we gotta spread it out a little bit. We gotta. I blame the Jets for the non-con.
They had a quick flashback.
The former players get no respect.
I get it, but that's what I would say. It's like, yes, it was a terrible call. Yes, it impacted the game, but I think the defense had a way more impact on that game than what that call did.
Speaking of defense, it shouldn't every scoring situation either way. Yeah, true. I mean, and to top it off, let's just dig a little deeper into that. I mean, Stafford threw for 279 yards. 4 tutties, like you said, 1 int. Cool, man. But like, also, can we just talk about the coming back of form, the resurgence to form? Puka comes in, 7 receptions, 106 yards. Cup comes back, 5 receptions, 51 yards, and a tutty. Like, it's crazy that the Rams are showing up. Wait, but so my question, I guess, then is, are the Viking pretenders, or is this comeback season for the Rams? I mean, those are 2 very different topics, but we saw what happened in yesterday's game. Wudi, what do you think?
You know, I know we're going to talk about them in just a couple of minutes, so I won't talk about that in great detail. But the Rams had the exact opposite of the Bucks. They got both of their receivers back, right? This is a team that, ESPN felt, some of the analysts felt could make the playoffs. I was pretty high in them. I thought that they can make the playoffs because their offense was just bananas. Their defense, is okay. Lost Aaron Donald, pretty much lost all their guys. Actually, they just out here doing it with no names. But their offense is so stacked. But then week 1, they lose Puka. Cooper Kupp was lost week 2. So of course the team is going to look different when you have 2 superstars out like that. First game, everybody's back. I mean, as long as they're healthy, they're going to be a really good team and a really tough team to beat.
Mm-hmm. Caleb?
No, I mean, I agree. It's like, why wouldn't they make a resurgence if their 2 best offensive weapons outside of their quarterback are back and healthy? You know what I mean? Like, of course. Do you not think the Niners are going to look better if CMC was back and Debo don't have pneumonia and Ayuk's knee ain't tore up? Like, what we talk about? Kittle's foot is good. Like, of course, they're going to look phenomenal. So I think they caught the Vikings slipping because the Vikings weren't prepared for those 2 guys, and they were probably motivated where they really wanted to go out there and show that, you know what I mean? And you're right. Kupp is always hurt. He wasn't last night, though. so it is, you know what I mean? It is.
Yep, except for last night.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So there's that. But I don't think there's nothing like when you get your weapons back and they're motivated. And that's what you saw. Like, that's what that was. And they ran the Vikings ragged up and down that field. And at the end, they still had a chance to win. You know what I mean? So there's that. But I think the Vikings gotta regroup a little bit because you don't want to start slipping. You know what I mean? Because you could easily start into that slide, and that would be tragic because they're in a division where it's real deal. Those are dogs up there. The Bears can beat you. You know what I mean? Like that used to be a game where you like, whew, all right, cool. We go to Chicago, get that. It ain't that no more.
Yeah, you're already counting the wins in preseason. You're saying we playing the Bears week 3. Great, W. Okay, who else we got? Like it's just
Lions and Bears both used to be that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, both of them.
At division, there's not every one of those teams is a dogfight, big time. So I agree. I wouldn't say, to answer Nigel's question, I wouldn't say the Vikings are pretenders, but they definitely gotta check themselves before they wreck themselves. They've just been they took the league off guard, right? The league wasn't they got Darnold and QB, they got, but now they've shown that they can play and teams are taking them seriously and they've lost 2 straight. So now they need to recalibrate their energy and match the teams that now realize that they're a talented football team.
Yeah, and it's no joke, man, because let me just remind the listeners and the people watching. I mean, the Vikings, now they're in the NFC North. So they have the come up Bears, who I want to talk about much later in the show, but we have the Bears making things happen right now at 4-2. The Bears are now finally 4-2, and they look good. All right. It's not, they look good. Not a flash in the pan right now. They look good. Green Bay Packers, who is now, they're really, again, slow to start, right? But they're getting their move on right now, especially because Love was out. Now he's back. And then the Vikings at 5-2 and Detroit Lions at 5-1. This division is nasty. It is nasty. So now, to your point, Caleb, to your point, Wudi, people have seen this team. They've seen the Vikings. They've seen what they can do. So now they're being exposed a little bit, right? So the Rams, on the other hand, I mean, they had their biggest weapons out. They were down and out. And when you have one receiver, yeah, you're a badass team. But when you have 2 solid receivers, that, to quote unquote, a very knowledgeable man that we love to this day, is a tragedy. A tragedy for the defense.
Yes, sir.
So look, we're going to keep this thing moving. We got a couple other topics that we want to talk about today. The NFL has been absolutely fantastic, and I am loving it. Let's get into some general NFL talk, shall we? Now let's talk about, I'm going to field this one to you, Caleb, very first. Will Baker and the Bucs be able to survive without Evans and Godwin, which we touched on very briefly, but let's talk about it in depth.
Absolutely not. What are we talking about? No. Like, you have to have your weapons. As good as Matthew Stafford is, how are the Rams looking without Nakua? What's his?
Yeah, Puka Nakua.
Yeah, Nakua.
Puka. Yeah, it is Nakua, right? Nakua and Kupp. They weren't looking like anything. How is Brock Purdy looking right now? Purdy bad, right? Like, you got to have your team. Anybody is going to be bad without their weapons. You can have Joe Burrow without Chase and Higgins out there. He's going to look like no Burrow. You know what I mean? Like, what about Lamar? Like, think about all these players. Like without your guys, you're done. The only quarterback I've ever seen do it with nobody, with no names, air quote, was Brady. But those guys were actually really talented. We just didn't know who they were, right? And they became names based on him, Welker and what's his name? Edelman and all them. You know what I mean? Okay, but outside of that, you need your weapons. So I think
Mahomes is kind of doing it too.
Huh?
Like Patrick Mahomes, or Goat Mahomes, as you call
well,
him.
I mean, look, you know I love Goat Mahomes, but he does. You're right. A lot of, but the receivers, like, you got a receiver named Hollywood Brown. How you not? You know what I mean? Like you don't get a nickname if you just trash. They wasn't calling you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got dudes, but to a lesser degree, I'll give you that. And plus, Hollywood is hurt, right? So the acquisition of B-Hop is going to be major for them because their defense is playing crazy. But anyway, that's not the question. The Bucs, absolutely not. You need your weapons. As much as I love Baker and I root for him, I know what Baker is going to show up when he don't have no weapons. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be throwing muffins at everybody. Everybody. You know,
muffins.
You know, no, seriously. He's gonna be throwing muffins out there. Joker's gonna be like, mine.
Wudi, your thoughts? More muffins?
Well, no, just like Caleeb said, you know, I've been, you know, trying to, praise Russell Wilson, right? Credit when credit's due. Caleeb has always supported Baker Mayfield, and this season he has been spectacular. Like, there's no other way to put it. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in all of football. I mean, the man throwing 4 TDs 1 week, 3 TDs, is crazy. So I don't know what that is, if he's ascended to a different level, if the play calling around him, you know, now it's a second year in Tampa, you know, maybe everybody's just more comfortable in the system. I'm not sure what it is, but to Caleeb's point, I mean, you know, you lost your 2 best receivers. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Can they still win some games? I actually do not know. And I probably should have looked this up before I answered the question, who they face next.
Atlanta.
So it's like in division. Like,
that's
we're doing
my point.
This right away. Right away,
mean.
we're doing it.
You need those guys for them.
Yes. So they're probably gonna catch an L first. But you know, there will be times, you know, because they do like ground and pound anyway. And now they have 3 running backs. They have Irving, Rashad White, and somebody else who I can't remember, but he's actually the fastest of the 3. Mm-hmm. And I think if you just rely on that, you could be able to squeak out a win. Not against Atlanta, but against, you know, a lower caliber team.
Sean Tucker, I think, is the guy you're looking for.
Yes.
This is a guy. So when I picked up Baker Mayfield in my fantasy league, he was definitely like the second or third QB that I ended up picking up. He's going to be Cleveland Baker again. Don't do that, Gene. Don't put that on him. Don't put that on him. And unbeknownst to me, he was crushing out the gate. Now we're going to see what's really going to go down, what's really going to happen. And yes, Johnny Boy, I'm glad this was posted and came up, because I want to talk about that real quick. Johnny Boy says, is it the players or the coaching? Example, look at what Tomlin has done. Facts. So that's another reason we can even tie it back to the Patriots of old, when Caleeb just said, you know, look what Brady did with a bunch of quote unquote no names. True, we didn't know who they were, but the team and the coach, Belichick and the crew, did their research and due diligence, and they had absolute studs. I do think a lot of it has to do with the coaching. Of course, it has to do with talent. Of course, you can't make it to the league and not have talent. But also, when you get there, you need to know what you're doing against who you're doing it to. And I think that the coaching staff, offensive coordinators, and the head coach, and even defense, I think those people play an integral part of making you even better to get into the zones and break things down. Caleb.
I agree with that. And I think that's true. They play it in an integral part of making it better. Here's the deal, though. I don't care how good of a coach you are. You can't out-coach a bad quarterback. You got Uncle Rico back there. I don't care who's coaching him. You could have Bear Bryant. You could have Bill Walsh. You could have whoever you want.
Right.
He's going to lose. You're gonna be 0-18, right? Like, you can't out-coach bad play. So the majority of it is the players in the correct system. That's where the coaching comes in. To the whole thing about Tomlin, he was able to make this work. Let's not forget who he's got coming in on defense, who he's got rushing quarterbacks that come in and make. I'm seeing the Triple Crown every week with this dude coming off the edge. That's fumble and recovery.
It's crazy.
That's major.
Yeah.
Like, where would they be with if he wasn't there? Say he was injured and wasn't playing. Then what happens? They don't win those games. I'm telling you, the whole thing is different, right? So there is scheming, but you need those players out there that can execute it. And I believe that it really depends on that, because you can't out-coach bad play. I don't care who is the coach. If they can't execute, it's a wrap. And the coaches get all the props when you got Phil Jackson is the greatest coach of all time. Yeah, because he had Michael Jordan in his prime, right? He had Shaq and Kobe in their prime.
Preach.
What do you like? What? So you mean to tell me, you know what I mean? Chuck Daly couldn't have done it if he's got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta think of no disrespect, and not saying he's not great, but come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You know what I mean? You got a great dude. And somebody would say, well, Doug Collins was there before and he didn't do it. I'm talking about that squad with Pippen and all them, and like he had Mike when Mike figured it out. It is a different thing, right?
Wholeheartedly agree with this statement.
Pat Riley. Okay, Pat Riley.
Sure.
Showtime. And then when he wasn't there, he went to Miami and had Dwayne Wade in his prime. Are you kidding me? With Shaq and Mario Thomas, all these dudes. Riley was able to make it happen, right? Riley had Alonzo Mourning too. Like, let's not forget all of these people that helped make that be. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, you got to have the scheme. The coach is extremely important, but the groceries that the coach gets to have, I think, are slightly above. You cooking with rotten meat, I don't care how good of a chef you are, that shit's gonna be nasty and people gonna get sick.
You're gonna get sick.
You know what I mean? No, seriously.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, yeah, you gotta,
I mean, and I think I think that when it comes to Riley and Wade, I don't know if Wade was in his prime. I think Wade got to his prime because of Riley.
Agreed.
You're right. No.
And
but I know what you're saying.
And because I think his prime years was probably with Spoelstra, right? So I'll give you that. But he was a dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was a pup.
Yeah.
One of the pups that bite you all the goddamn time.
True. Johnny Boy, thanks so much for your comments, man. That really helps. And also, if y'all are out there, if you're listening, if you're watching on whatever social media platform, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, join the chat right there. We have 2 topics that weren't even on the list, and boom, it's turned into a whole thing. So we always appreciate that, and we love that you guys are joining in with us to stretch our knowledge of the sport and of the game. And we're just fans just as much as you are. I never got to you, Wudi. I don't think about Baker and the Bucks. Will they survive without Evans and Godwin? What's your little hot take?
Oh no, I said it's going to be rough. Okay. They're probably going to get this L against Atlanta,
right?
But the run game where you helped me out with I forgot his name again. Sean Tucker.
Right. True.
Yeah. So you have
great. Great, man. And listen, there might be a new person who's got the back of the GOAT Mahomes. DeAndre Hopkins is now a Kansas City Chief, which both of your faces just got smacked upside the head with like with a sock full of rocks. This is unreal. Now we knew that Mahomes and the Chiefs were in need of a receiver because for some reason the squad just ain't it. The guys that are there, Worthy and the rest of the crew, just could not hold their own. So what did the Chiefs do? Well, they went out and they got the best person that was available for the job, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. Wudi, let's talk about it.
Just a quick aside, right? I know we all are sports fans, right? And we root for our team.
Mhm.
But of course, as you know, you watch sports, there are certain players that you grow to
Mhm.
love, right? And that isn't necessarily a player on your team, right? In my history of watching sports, the only time that my favorite player in a league joined my sports team was when Amari Stoudemire joined the Knicks back in 2010
Oh,
for
wow.
$100 million. I thought it was going to happen again when DeAndre Hopkins was a free agent last year, and I said, oh, he wants to play with an established QB, Aaron Rodgers, of course. And the boy goes to Tennessee for no, they say he wants to be close to home. All right, home is where the heart is, all that stuff. And it hasn't even been 2 years. He already is done. He's done. And now he goes to the Kansas City Chiefs. What they have is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. He is not washed. I think that's just a narrative. When people turn 30, I think that's very old school, right? Modern medicine and all that type of stuff now. We've seen Brady play at 45. We've seen LeBron James play with his son. We've seen all these different things. Just because somebody is 31 does not mean that they all of a sudden can't play football. I believe Hopkins is 32, but you know what I'm saying. He is still Hall of Fame quality. This is exactly what Patrick needed. We just talked about how Patrick, he was trying to make this happen with Rashee Rice, Juju. He had a better chance with Juju Watkins than Juju Smith-Schuster. But now
That's funny.
he has DeAndre Hopkins, bona fide stud who is hungry to show that he can contribute for a Super Bowl team. This is a win-win on both of those sides. It's a huge deal.
Caleb.
Yes, couldn't agree more. I think adding D-Hop changes a lot for Mahomes because now it's Mahomes, Kelsey, and D-Hop because D-Hop is going to demand a double team. You have to because the other receivers they'll be able to run decoy a lot because you gotta guard a guy streaking down the field. So that's gonna pull somebody because these guys are in the NFL. They can catch a football for the most part, right? So it's like they'll be able to cause damage, but D-Hop is security. Patrick knows he got that and Kelsey, and I don't care if he's a Swiftie. He still can play that game and get you if you thinking he's slipping. So you stupid. But I'm just saying with Gene Rowe. But again, I think it's gonna be nasty. Now, do I think it makes them better than the Ravens? No, because I think Derrick Henry has changed the entire landscape of the Ravens team because they are a different beast with him now. Because before, who did you fear running the ball? Lamar. Now you don't. It's pick your poison, but you're really fearing the big guy running because he can break for 80 at any time. Anytime. And so that causes a lot with that what's the receiver real fast number 4? Why am I blanking on
Zay
his name?
Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers quick. Like I'm telling you, and I like Isaiah Likely, right? That didn't mean I like Isaiah Likely, yes, but yes, like that's nasty. I'm telling y'all, man. Like so I think that's who it's gonna come down to. And then in the game when it matters, of course I know who's gonna win. He does it all the time. It's going to be GOAT Mahomes, and Lamar's going to slip because he always does. That's what I'm saying. But they look great. But through the regular season, Lamar might get the third MVP.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, I have my whole other I think it's a whole other topic to chat about when Henry trying to make sure my words are straight here, because I just don't feel like Baltimore is still using him properly. It's so bananas, because it's like,
you better ask
like,
them other teams. He been running 200 yards. This properly.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to tell you, is that when it's like they always forget. Oh man, you know what? What's that play? Let's give it to Henry and just see what he does. Oh, what? That's a touchdown. Okay, great. Okay, great. You know what? Let's just throw the ball the next series. Let's just throw it. And then a whole bunch of throwing going on, and it's like, we're waiting like 15 minutes.
I get your point.
I agree with that.
And then they're like, crap. You know what? Let's run the ball. Just run the ball. Just run. Oh, damn. That's another TD for us. Like, it just feels like the Ravens just keep forgetting that they can now utilize Henry and Jackson, and they can do them at the same time. Like you guys can mix that up. It feels like they're faltering a little bit. Am I wrong? I don't know.
No.
I think you're right.
Go ahead, Wudi. You can take it.
Because those 200 yards that you were talking about, Caleeb, they're on like 13 carries. Like because he breaks them out for 80, right? Like, he's not actually like a part of the game plan. I agree with Nigel. It's like they randomly remember at times, like, the pass game is kind of stalling out. Like, let's just give it to Henry, and he breaks it for 80 yards. Like, I think they should incorporate him more often.
Okay, I agree with you both, but I think Johnny Boy will appreciate this. I think it is a coaching thing. You think Harbaugh don't know that?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think Harbaugh don't know? We got 17 games. I'm not risking this horse getting injured. I'm going to keep him warm so he understands the things to do. That's right. And what happens is Harbaugh is trying to make sure he has him when it matters, because they're going to need him in the playoffs. That's when you're going to see way more runs. And then that RPO that Johnny Boy just mentioned. And then the annexation of Puerto Rico. That's what's going to happen when they call that play action, and Flowers is streaking down the middle and likely runs that deep post. Tragedy. You know what I'm saying? So I believe Harbaugh is doing that. I think he's preserving that stallion, keeping him warm, but don't want to overrun him, because don't act like Henry ain't got no mileage on him. He was running like crazy down in Tennessee. So he's closer to his end than his beginning. So I think I think there's a little caution there. And when he gets the ball, he makes it known, like, boom. You know what I mean? So he's going for those 80s. Plus, they ain't never ran against him. These teams ain't never played him. They like, yo, where he come from? You know what I'm saying? They never had to deal with like that. So that's where I think it's a little bit of strategy, and you know what I mean? So it's that, and you got a lot of mouths to feed on that offense. You do. Yeah.
There's a lot of contributors to that offense, which makes them dangerous.
Yeah, Johnny. You see what I'm saying, Johnny? I told you. I said Johnny would appreciate it, and he does. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, with 4 exclamation marks. Yeah, Johnny, he's appreciating you for sure.
No, because it's true. It's like
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
You know,
we gave Lamar a bunch of love, and that begs the question: is the NFL going to follow suit? Is he the front runner for MVP right now?
Yes. I don't see how he wouldn't be. He's definitely there. And you know who else is there?
Who?
And I always diss him. Jared Goff. He can't not be in there, except he's just not as dynamic. Lamar does more. So that's why I would have Lamar, because Lamar's running, he's passing, he without him, it's a wrap in Baltimore, right? Like, then Henry's gonna get 25 to 30 carries a game because the quarterback, their whole offense changes without Lamar being that integral piece. He's like the queen on a chessboard. He can go anyway. No disrespect, not calling him feminine or nothing like that. I'm talking about the chess piece of the queen itself. It's the most powerful piece on the chessboard because of its ability to move frontwards, backwards, and diagonal at any time, all spaces, right? That's what Lamar is. You know what I mean? So to lose that, so the Lions could lose Goff, and there could be another quarterback inserted that can basically do the. Imagine if Brock Purdy was on the Lions. They'd be going back to the Super Bowl because of everything that's around them. You know what I'm saying? Dak Prescott would be, oh my gosh, in Detroit. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the difference. But Brock Purdy in Baltimore. You know what I mean? Dak in Baltimore. Right? Like you need that. It's a certain thing. So that's why I think if Lamar stays healthy and they get through the regular season, it's going to be hard to beat him for MVP. Like, seriously, they'll just give it to somebody else because they don't want him to win it again. It's like how they used to do Jordan. Like, he's this MVP every season. You know what I mean? It's like, we got to give it to somebody. Barkley, you can have it this time. You know what I mean? So that's what I feel like is going to be with him this year. Like, he's such an integral part of everything that they do. Without him, it's a wrap. Like, everything has to change.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't think he deserved it last year. I'm still upset about that.
You even said that with pain in your heart.
Who, in your opinion?
It's just, I mean, you know, well, it's a quarterback award, but if it wasn't, CMC should have won.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Then I would have put Tyreek Hill number 2. But if we doing quarterback award,
you know it's what it is.
Josh, can I say Josh Allen? You want to talk about somebody
I love King Allen? That's my man.
And if you want to talk about somebody who's queen for their team, take Josh Allen off that team, off the Buffalo Bills. Are they going to be a good team?
Another quarterback could, but not at his level. Not at his level, though. Not at his level.
I mean, you know, they just traded for Amari Cooper, but the first 7 games of this season, the Bills were 5-2 with Tupac Shakur. Sorry, whatever his name is, at wide receiver. That was their best receiver. That was their best receiver. Nah, man. Josh Allen, he is the engine that makes it go. You could say it for Lamar. You could say it for Josh, and I think Josh.
No. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about Josh. I love him. I think he's phenomenal, and I agree with his style of play. To replace him, the Bills are a completely different offense. It's completely different. I don't care who you plug in there. It's completely different the way that Josh does it. So I could see that. For right now, through these 7 games, I don't see anybody who could just definitively beat Lamar for that, where I'm seeing like, no, that person is like, whoa, we're neck and neck. It's like, the only reason why I mentioned Goff is because I think the Lions are the best team in the NFL right now. I do. And then I think the Ravens are right behind them. Okay.
Johnny boy, yeah.
You're right. Yeah. No. Listen, and I'm not a Goff fan at all. I think, man, listen.
Me neither.
I can't stand that dude, but I can't deny what I've seen him do, and he's working magic back there. You know what I'm saying? In the kitchen, chef cooking like a stir fry. You know, like he's doing the thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Migos.
100%. We know what you're talking about.
But that's what it looked like. And that defense is nasty too. The loss of Hutch is big. We're gonna see. They didn't get Reddick from the Jets, which they should have did. So they should go get Max. They get Max, it's a wrap. They win the Super Bowl. I don't see a team beating them.
So we're all in agreement then. So it's Lamar, right? Lamar, Jafar, and Lamar.
For me, it is, and I said Goff was my number 2.
No, Wudi, don't concede, bro. Don't concede. Like, zag on him if you need to.
I'm only talking about the regular season, though. I'm only talking.
You guys are right, though. Like, I don't have anyone yet. Josh is close, right? He hasn't thrown an interception this season, and his team is doing very well. He doesn't have the touchdowns.
Oh, we lost your audio for a second there.
There
you go.
Can you hear me
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, lost it again. He's cutting in and out.
Am I having technical difficulties?
There you go.
The Lord wants Lamar Jackson to be MVP. I agree, Lord. Please protect my computer, protect my audio. I agree. Lamar Jackson is MVP right now.
Yo, you got a spell on you, so you can't say anything else other than Lamar Jackson for MVP. There's no
right now.
Shout out to Agatha all along. Real fun show right now. All right, cool. Hey, check this out. I want to jump into our next segment because we really talked about the NFL. That was a bunch of fun, but now we got to get into the picks of the week. Brought to you by Caleeb's book of movie quotes. If you're trying to say something, say it with a movie quote. Now, there's a couple games that are pretty big this week. Some of them are listen, most of the games are very average. Most of the games are very average this week. I'm going to start. I'm going to set the tone, and then you guys can take it away. Whoever wants to take it away after me. I think the games to watch, out of all the early games or the 1 o'clock games, I think it's Atlanta, Tampa Bay, because of the reasons that we talked about. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of players missing, a lot of Atlanta's really trying to find their identity again. Like they've taken some wicked lumps. So I want to see if they can kind of get back to week 1, week 2 form. Tampa Bay, we mentioned it before. Baker's got a lot of adversity to overcome because he's lost some major weapons on that team. Of course, granted, he does have those running backs, but at the same time, he's proven that he can be a thrower again. So we have to see what happens there. I think in the afternoon game for me, shockingly, I would never have said this in preseason. I'm looking forward to Chicago, Washington. Chicago at Washington is one of the games where I'm like, this is going to be my feature, I think. I think this is the one I'm going to pay attention to the most. That's the afternoon game, 4:25 Eastern. So I'm very excited to see how those two quarterbacks lead their teams, how those rookies do the damn thing. And obviously my Monday nighter, San Francisco, Dallas at San Fran. I don't know.
I think it's Sunday night, right? Or is it
I think that one's Monday. Sunday night is the Giants Steelers.
No matter, it's that night.
Yeah. Dallas at San Fran. I don't know. It's Monday, so whatever. I'll watch that game, but who knows? It might be. I feel like it could go either way. I feel like it could be like a real banger of a game to close out the week, or it could just be this crazy stinker where it's like 21-17, nothing really happened, and it took forever for them to even get to 21-17. You know what I mean? So we'll see. So those are my 3 picks. Commanders losing because Daniels is not playing. Ooh, my bad. Is that? I missed that.
I didn't realize that either. But I do remember Mariota finished the game, but I thought it was because they were up. I didn't realize it was because of injury.
Oh boy. Okay, we gotta do some.
So that is definitely a dagger. Gonna have to, as a Jet fan, I will agree that I hope this happens. I'm not going to place any bets that it happens with the Jets and the Patriots. But I'll highlight 2 games actually that I think are pretty interesting. Dolphins, Cardinals. It's supposed to be the return of Tua, which is just news in itself, right? Oh, Tua's back. But against the Cardinals have been a really interesting team. They're sometimes they show up and they can beat. I feel like, if Kyler shows up to play, they can literally beat anybody on a random night, but then they lose to the worst teams. So they're one of those. So I'm very curious to see, because there have been 0 games all season where the Dolphins have looked like, this great team, which I think a lot of us were expecting. We came into the season, I think both of you had the Dolphins winning their division. I had them, neck and neck with the Jets. And even with Tua, they didn't look great. Obviously, without Tua, they've been the worst of the worst. So just seeing Tua come back against this team that plays well against great teams and terrible against bad teams, I think that's an interesting matchup. And the other matchup I'm going to highlight, not to pick on any of our teams, but the Eagles and Bengals.
Yep.
2 other teams that on paper a lot of people were thinking very highly of. And, I've suffered some losses, had some wins. Sirianni, we know how Caleeb feels about him. Most of the fan base echoes that sentiment. I'm just curious to know what happens with both of these teams. Both of these coaches are kind of on the hot seat. Both of these rosters are talented, but just not, where they want to be.
Facts. And you're right. Just a little fact checking myself. Yes, Caleeb, you're correct. The Dallas at San Fran game is Sunday night. And then New York at Pittsburgh is Monday night. Yes. So corrected. Caleeb, continue.
So just for that, that game, I want to see the Niners and the Cowboys. I'm really looking forward to that because they're both in a very precarious spot right now for their seasons. So they both really need to win. Debo's going to play. He's going to come back. He had pneumonia. He got over it. They said, I think he's going to play. I don't know how effective because he had fluid in his lungs. So if you can't breathe, I don't care who you are. It's very difficult. So there's that. Kittles is going to play with the injured foot. They still got a good running game. But that Ayuk and, of course, CMC is a thing. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Then you got Dallas on the other hand. They are reeling, right? Trying to make sure they just do not lose. To lose to a weakened Frisco would be devastating to them. And they really need this to get there because they're 3-3. The world is acting like they're 1-5 or something, right? They're at 500. It's not
True,
that bad. You know what I mean? They could win and be 4-3. And if my team, the other game I'm looking forward is the Eagles and Bengals, like Wudi said, but I didn't know we were 0-14 against the Bengals in all time. It's the worst.
What?
It's the worst team ratio record in the history of football. The
Didn't know that.
Bengals
Against the Bengals, bro?
14 games in a row. The Bengals are 14-0 against the Eagles all time, right?
Wow.
So I really want to see if we can at least get one. I don't know if we will because our secondary is garbage. And with Burrow throwing to Chase and Higgins and them, I just think they're gonna carve us up. I really do. And
it's in Cincinnati.
Yes. And then you got Sirianni. He's not good. He's gonna be up there cussing out fans because they're gonna be talking mess to him, and he's gonna be all not focused on the game. And then Jalen, great guy. Love him, met him in person. He's phenomenal, but on the field, so I don't know how that's going to be. So I'm just hoping we can do something. Our greatest hope is Saquon. Just get that joker the ball, please. Just get a little nigga the ball. Make a block. It's that. So we shall see. Our weapons can't do nothing. AJ Brown, as much as I love him, he can't do nothing because the ball can't get to him. So there's that. So it's gonna be interesting. So I want to see that if we can win this game, this will be a good thing because we'll be at 5-2, and now we're starting to move, especially with Jaden being injured with the rib thing, which I think is smart for the Commanders to hope because they're in command of the division anyway. They should make the playoffs. You don't want to aggravate or get a bruised rib to be a broken one. And now he's out because he really can't take any hits then. So it's gonna be that will be interesting to see. I agree with the Commanders and the Bears. That game is less now because without him, I think that's a big change to their offensive makeup. It's like you can't lose players like that. That's like losing Lamar. Changes everything. So I think that's going to be interesting. The Bears, I would now pick the Bears to win that game because Jaden's not there. It changes the entire flow and dynamic of the offense. So those are the games I'm really looking at. Again, I would love to see Purdy give me old school last season Purdy where he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns, no picks, QBR 107, just demolish that team. I want to see Dak go 18 for 45, 2 touchdowns, 5 picks, 2 fumbles lost.
There's some Madden numbers right there is what he's saying.
No, because he's got to pass all game because he can't run. So he's going to throw 40 times. I guarantee he's going to throw 40. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just hoping that it's just tragic. I'm hoping CD cussing him out on the sideline. So they always zoom in on CD and he'd be like, and all of that. Like I want to see that. You know, I'm just hoping that's what I'm looking forward to on Sunday night. I just hope. So I just need Purdy to show up. I just need my boy. If Debo run amok, it's a wrap. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Well, if you need Purdy to show up, you need CMC first. That's a prerequisite.
Yeah.
But that running back, that brother, that what's his name?
Jordan Mason.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah.
Listen, Dallas ain't got no defenses against no run. Listen,
That's true.
he gets to and Micah ain't playing because Micah is playing politics like a mug right now. He's like, oh no, I may not be back for 2 more games. He's like, I'm getting my money. We're not even playing. Like no, I'm not interested. He's doing that. What's his name? That's on homeboy that went to the Raiders to the Jets. What's his? I don't know why I'm blanking.
Devontae Adams. Oh yeah, Devontae.
Oh, I'm like heavy. Oh Lord. Oh, somebody call my old lady. It's over. I can't play. You're going to the Jets. I'll be ready on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'll be ready on Sunday.
He's already in line for the flight. Yeah, he's already at customs. Yeah, you know, and you bring up a really great point too, and this is more like the cosmetics of the NFL, where we're seeing a lot more personalities. And I know a lot of it has to do with social media, but I think even more so now, we are seeing receivers and running backs like emote, like nobody's been like we've never seen this much emotion. I think in a collaborative season as we have in the past, and I don't even mean like that far. I'm not talking about like 80s, 90s. I'm talking about like 5-6 seasons ago, like just seasons ago, where sure somebody would have one wild and freak out, but now it's like you really see the dynamics on the field in real time of like how the receivers feel, because we've really turned into crazy divas outside of the, you know, in front of the curtain now, on the stage instead of behind the curtain. But like you're seeing people's emotions and how they feel about other players in real time, and it is wild.
There's no way Dak and CD like each other.
I think that relationship is split.
I guarantee you they do not kick it outside of football like that wherever they practice at. I guarantee you they don't go to dinners. I guarantee you they don't text each other. They do not like each other. There's no way you can like somebody who cusses you out on TV and your head is just down like this. Like you don't like that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, there's no way. So it's interesting to see it, but I love it. It's phenomenal. I love when that happens. CD's done it twice.
Yeah, I'm into it. He's a boss. All right, we're gonna jump into our miscellaneous category. So there's a lot of other sports that we got to talk about before we head on out of here and let everybody enjoy the rest of your day. But if you just joined us, you're listening to the Pop Off, or you're watching the Pop Off, however you're doing your socials today. It's a glorious Friday. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all those fun things, and comment, man. Jump in the comment section. We want to talk about what you want to talk about here at Uptown Sports TV. So check it out. I want to talk about, we're going to talk about what you guys, I think, mentioned last week, which is the 2024-2025 NBA season. I got to drop my finals matchup and my winner prediction. I think Wudi's frozen, so wait till he figures things out on his end. But my finals matchup is the Celtics and the Thunder. I think the Thunder is going to get through. I think they're going to get through. I really hope that they do. However, I think my winner from that bout is going to be the Celtics. I think just they have the momentum right now. They got the juice, as the kids say, in the 90s. So I think they'll be able to. Welcome back, sir. I'm just talking about my my NBA season prediction for the 24-25 season. I think the matchup is going to be the Celtics and the Thunder, and I think the winners are going to be the Celtics. That's kind of where I'm at. I just think the Celtics are going to do the thing. I think, and then I think they're done. After that, I think they'll get championship number 19, and then it's like, all right, that's probably it. They're gonna have to blow up the team, but I think the Thunder is going to be the next to win in the next couple seasons. I think they're going to do it in the next couple seasons. Anything
Thunder
else to add on that?
I was just gonna say Thunder definitely have a great team, young team that are set to be together for the next few years. So I like the pick. I think we might have all had Celtics. I can't remember. We all had Celtics. We just, feel like, it's they have the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they win or lose in the finals to each person's individual pieces. But Celtics Thunder, I like it. I like it.
Amazing. Let's keep it moving. We're going to stay in the NBA world. Next up, I want to talk about this, which is the thoughts on the Bron moment. That was legendary. Was it legendary or was it too manufactured? This segment is so interesting to me. I'm conflicted, if you will. But Caleb, let's go to you first. Let me give us your thoughts on Bron and Bronny. The moment, was it legendary? Was it manufactured? I want to throw a couple caveats to you before you start commenting or giving us your hot take. They become the first, if you didn't know, they become the first father and son duo to play in the NBA together, and that was on Tuesday at the Los Angeles Lakers season opener against the Timberwolves, which they won. LeBron says that moment, us being at the scorer's table together and checking in together, it's a moment I'm never going to forget. Facts. I could only imagine what that would feel like, especially at that level, the highest level of professional basketball, especially in North America. They checked into the game simultaneously. There's 4 minutes left, in the second quarter. They played together for about 2.5 minutes or so. Well, Caleb, what do we think?
Before I answer that, how many people are watching us right now?
Enough.
Okay. So for everybody out there, I'm just going to say this, okay? Nigel is 1,000 billion% right about that feeling of what it must have felt like for LeBron to stand up at that scorer's table and have his son, his junior, his first child, looking back at him, getting ready to walk out on an NBA court for the first time together in the history of the sport. Cameras are everywhere. Celebrities are there to see this moment. Everybody's got their cameras out. Ken Griffey Jr., Ken Griffey Sr. are there. Like, everybody's there, right? And imagine how much greater the feeling would have been had your son earned it. Oh, man. Yeah. If he actually deserved to be there, like Ken Griffey Jr. deserved to be there, that would have been drafted and would have been a Hall of Famer, whether his daddy played a single inning or not. That's how talented that young man was. Okay. Floyd Mayweather Jr., a champion, Hall of Fame, whether his dad boxed or not, that boy had a gift from God to not get hit and hit you. Okay. There is a difference when your son and child earn something versus you making sure it happened. That was an orchestrated event that only built up LeBron. It hurt Bronny more than anything. Created more spite against him that he don't deserve, made more people not want to see him win, which he doesn't deserve. And it put him in a position that he can never get out of. For the rest of his life, it's like using steroids. They're always going to mention it. It's like beating a woman. It's like killing somebody. It's like Michael Vick. No matter how much he served all his time, he's great on Fox. He does his stuff. But he was fighting dogs. You know what I mean? Every time they mention him, but his dad, he wouldn't have got drafted. You can't care about your son when you do that to them. You have to back up and let whatever it's gonna be happen. It's not about money, because your son was rich when you got rich. He's rich forever. There's not a problem. He doesn't have to worry about survival. But you ruined his ability to be his own. Like, you not ruined it, but you really damaged it. You really did. Because now they're talking about, he's going to go down to the D League and get better. So you're just doing it for the cameras. So we're clout chasing now. That's what that was. And you dare take pictures with Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. like you deserve it? Like you're on that level? Are you kidding me? Like, that to me is one of the worst. It's so shallow. Like, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to those sorts of things, you want your child to be able to earn it. When they are phenomenal for what they do, that they would have gotten that whether you're there or not. That's what I would have hoped. That's what I would have liked to see. You see that with the Mannings, and I get the age and different. But what I'm saying, Peyton made it, whether or not his dad was Archie Manning or not. Eli Manning made it, whether or not Peyton was his older brother or Archie Manning was his father. He didn't win those. They wasn't out there throwing that ball in that Super Bowl to Plaxico Burress with the tippy toes in the corner. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Nah, man. Your family does help you. There's training that comes. There's knowledge that comes. There's all of that. But then there comes to the actual thing. Floyd Mayweather Sr. couldn't go out there and dodge those punches for Junior. Floyd had to do that himself. You see what I'm saying? So when you steal that thing, it actually robbed the moment. It's like, it's this new social media thing. Like, it's just, okay, it's all for clout, you know? And I just didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. I think it was weak because we know he wouldn't have been there. He would have never been drafted if you didn't do it. And it's to your team. Really? You know what I'm saying? Like, because if he was good, other teams would be like, I'm sorry, LeBron, we taking him. Are you kidding me? Yeah. We're not letting him get down to y'all. They're like, man, go. You know why he here. They're like, there's only 54 picks in the draft this year, y'all.
Wudi, what are your thoughts?
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, as a father, I feel like it is impossible to watch it and not get the goosebumps, like you said, the moment for LeBron. That is I'm gonna have goosebumps right now. Like, even just saying it and going back to the moment, I have goosebumps. So I feel it. Did they earn it? I don't even think they came close. Right? Bronny is not good. He can beat me one-on-one. I'm in my men's league, dropping when I can. He can beat me. Yes, but he is not an NBA caliber player. Respectfully, Johnny Boy, this is not a qualification to be in the NBA.
Oh, my
put DeMar Hamlin in the NBA. This is not, you have to be a good basketball player. And Bronny, they're like, you have to be a great basketball player. That's what you have to be, is a great basketball player. And Bronny is a good one. So from that standpoint, and like, what actually happened? They came out.
I think Johnny's just trolling. I think he's trolling. I think that's what that was. There's no way he meant that.
I don't know. But what I will say is they really were trying to force it. Then they even tried to force LeBron pass to the three. Clunk. The one shot that Bronny shot.
The assist so he could get the first father-son assist.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy, Jesus.
It was so like all that type of stuff. Yeah, that is fake. It is manufactured. It like you said, for the boy, Bronny.
I'm talking about
that is what that is gonna follow him. That's a fact. So it is kind of unfortunate, but it's also kind of cool. Like I feel like I'm like closer to Nigel of like the duality of like, yes, this is a cool moment, no doubt, but it's not Ken Griffey. This is not at all Ken Griffey.
So I'll shed some family stuff right quick. So my nephew, right, started acting at a young age. Both his parents are famous actors. Okay. So what happened with my nephew was the world started saying, "Oh, your dad is just giving you that. We don't want to see you in movies. We don't like you." Right? We don't like that. Here we come with those Smith kids. Okay. So if you look at both my niece and nephew, they've both separated themselves completely from that Smith family image and all of that. Jaden doesn't rap nothing like Will. He's completely different. He had to set out and create his own thing to be seen as his own individual. Will ain't never wore no damn dress outside of a movie in Wild Wild West. My nephew don't care. He'll wear a dress to the damn party and a Batman suit. Like this, like completely setting himself apart. My niece does neon soul music. Willow got grills all in her mouth, all types of stuff. Like, you ain't never seen my sister or Will looking like that. Are you kidding? No, that's not their brand. Them kids is like, we creating our own, because what happens is the world does not like it. They hate it. They'll accept it for a second, but once it feels like it's being forced on them, it's a wrap. They don't like it. It's what happened to The Rock. They were like, Rocky sucks. Rocky sucks. They were trying to push all he's the grandson of the Mafia, and Rocky Johnson's his dad. Look, guys. The fans were like, boo, until he said, it doesn't matter what you have to say, right? And it changed everything. He went into a character that made everybody say, all right, we fuck with that. There we go, be you. That's what people want to see. They don't want the dad thing. They already don't even like, half the people don't like LeBron anyway. You think they want to cheer for his, now you just going to give it to your son? You see what I'm saying? So this is coming from personal experience. I've seen it with people that I love. I know what that is. It is not a road you want to be on. You have to separate yourself. Bronny should start smoking weed and running with thugs in the street. Just like, nah, Hammy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta separate your thing so you develop your own thing. Michael had to get away from the Jackson 5. He said that's what his iconic moment. Those songs, I love those songs, but I really like the new ones. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody's like, changed it.
Legendary quote.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson, the same thing. She was like, I got to do Control, right? I'm out of here. Like, I'm doing my own thing. Pleasure Principle, give me that chair. I'm finna rock it, right? Like, she's like on their own. That's what you have to do. You can't, that shit, people hate it. So that's why I feel bad for him, because I know what that's going to do to him. I know what those comments are saying. I know what he's hearing. And you only hear negative. You never hear positive. When somebody tells you you're great, that goes in one ear at the other. One person says you suck. You don't forget that. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's dealing with. So that's why I feel bad for him. I hope that's why I was like, why would you do that to that kid, man? Like, you're hurting him more than helping him. You're not making sure he's paid, because he already is. That's what I mean. Like, if it's to get a check, like, no, my son needs to eat. He broke. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Not when he's already got 10 million when he was 10. You know, so that's all. That's all I'm saying. Like,
it seems to be pretty, I want to say divided, but it's not really. I think a lot more people seem to be muddying the waters in terms of the actual event and then what Bronny is capable of, or what he has done to get there. I think the waters get muddy and people aren't realizing that there were 7 other guys on the 2023-2024 USC roster that were way better than him. Literally way better. He averaged 4.8 points per game. Like, it's crazy. The next guy was like 5 and up. And then after that, it was like a bunch of dudes that were in double digits. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well, let's think about that. But also let's think about the game last night. If you or the opener, if you watch it, he was 0 for 2 for field. He was 0 for 3 for the night.
Right.
He didn't have any points. If you're a rookie going into a game, I don't care how bad you are or what your position is, you are at least scoring or getting rebounds. He got 1 rebound.
Listen,
I think he got 2. 1 offensive, 1 defense. He got 2 rebounds.
Why would you want your son to bomb on the biggest stage when you know everybody's watching? Why would you want that? Because it's not for him, it's for you. You look great.
So the thing is, it's
why would you do that?
So for me, I just feel like this, and I mentioned this. I mentioned this to you guys, and we said it on the pod when we were figuring out if this was going to happen. We knew this was going to be a flashy night. We didn't know when it was going to be, and I was hoping it was going to be a little later. I wanted it to be later because I wanted Bronny to come in so he can drop like 7 points at least, or just to do something that makes him look like he actually belongs, but he's a rookie, so he's going to be coming up. But to have the moment out the gate with the opener, it's like, all right, this for sure feels manufactured. I don't want to talk on this too much longer because we've already taken this to death. But like it just feels like it was a little too much. Having Ken Griffey Sr., Caleeb, you mentioned it, you beat me to it, which is fantastic. Having Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. at the game, because they're somehow now tied in parallel because they were both. But that's the way that it's being perceived.
If I was Ken, I'd be like, nah.
I know, but that's the way it's being. That's the way it's being perceived, right? But now you look at it, and you made a huge point. You're like, yeah, but Griffey Jr. he deserved to be there. Those who played 51 games together and were both Mariners in 90 and 91, and they deserve to be there because once his dad retired, Griffey just went on. I just wish he won a World Series or two. But he's but
you don't have to. He was a phenomenal player. Barry Bonds, forget steroids. Let's just stop his career before that happened. Was a Hall of Famer already. Didn't matter if his godfather was Willie Mays and his dad played. None of that. Yeah. He was going to be that no matter what, based off of his talent, period. That is what I'm saying. That's what you want to celebrate, because the truth is, as a parent, because I have kids, I'm telling you, my daughter, the best thing for me is knowing she can survive in this world without me.
Right.
That is what you want. That's why you don't help your kid tie his shoes. You show him how to do it, and you make sure he can do it, because one day you won't be there. And I know that's a little example, but it's the bigger point of what I'm making. That's what a good parent does. They don't make you earn it because they hate you or they're trying to hurt you. They make you earn it because they love you, because they want you to know the only thing in life you can do. And I'm sorry, guys, I got to say this. The only thing in life that matters is when you know you can trust you. When you tell yourself you're going to do something and you do it, there's a bond that happens inside yourself that is unbreakable. You know, no matter what, you can survive because you can bet on you. But when you don't have that, because the storms of life is coming, tragedy. When you look at help, somebody needs to help, because ain't nobody coming to help you in life. This is you, right? That's why you want to train that in your son. If they don't earn it, it's okay, son. You didn't get it, but you will. So keep working. I can't, because if I give it to you, you don't develop that muscle.
Yeah, you just expect it, and that's not the way it goes. Speaking of going, we got to get going. We got a couple more topics left. We're gonna get out of here so you can carry on with your Friday. You know what? We are going to jump right to UFC 308. That is happening. We're going to go through these predictions very quickly. This segment of the show is brought to you by Wudi's Fight Club. The first rule of Wudi's Fight Club is to make sure your hair is always glistening. Okay. UFC 308 predictions. This is where I put my thing. Yo, my God, I have product ready. Ladies and gentlemen, that was not set up. If you are just
my strength is in my head.
You're doing these right now. You're listening to Pop Off. We're going through all the feels, having all the laughs, and right on cue, I made a joke, and Wudi did not miss a beat. Had the product ready. This is where I bow out and I let these two gentlemen talk about the infamous UFC franchise. 308 is happening. So why don't you guys have at it? Wudi, why don't you talk about one fight, and then Caleeb, why don't you talk about the other, and then we'll jump to the very last segment of the show and get on with our Fridays. Wudi, go on and have it. Which fight you want to talk about? Or both.
I will save the main event for my guy Caleeb, and I'll talk about Khamzat Chimaev going against Robert Whittaker. This is a huge fight. At one point, Khamzat was looking like he was on a fast track to the championship, but then he's pulling out of fights. He has some health issues, got sick real bad, but now he's back. Now he is back. If you see his interviews, he's like a whole new person. Like, he seems like he turned over a new leaf. Almost seems too nice, actually. The old comes out, you ask him something, smash everybody. Then they say, oh, what do you think about this person? Smash. What do you think about that? Smash. Like, that's all he was talking shit. He had the ultimate confidence. Literally his, you watch UFC, everybody's like walking to the ring. They got their music. This man is sprinting to the ring. It's not about nothing besides just pure brutality. When the bell rings, sprinting at his opponent. He has pure intensity. He's one of the most exciting fighters to watch for that reason. But now I'm watching the interviews, and he's not saying smash. He's saying, oh, Whitaker, his own opponent, very talented fighter, one of the best ever. So I'm not sure what to expect here. In terms of the fight itself, before even seeing those interviews, I had Whitaker. I just think Rob, he, knows that his time, borrowed time. We've seen it. These old dogs, they're not ready to pass it to the new guard. They're not ready to pass it to the new guard. And Dustin Poirier, they put him against Benoit Saint Denis, and boom, boom, the diamond, he was shine bright like a diamond. I think that is the path that Whitaker is on. I think he, with every fiber in his being, needs that final title shot. He wants it. He's not going to let anybody stand in his way. So although Khamzat is a tremendous, tremendous fighter, I just don't think up here he wants it as much as Robert Whitaker.
That's interesting, because I was watching that. I watched the press conference, and I get your point, because I was like, Khamzat is showing a lot of respect, which I think he should. I think because I love Whitaker. I love Whitaker. I really do. He's a dog. He's a gentleman. He's a real fighter. He's gonna go in there and give it. I just think, I don't know if he'll be able to beat Khamzat. Like, I think he's on a trajectory to get there. Like, he was respectful to Max and to Poirier. He was like, no, Max is great. He's a legend. Poirier is fantastic. I'm just gonna be the champion. Right. And I was just like, yeah, like, I just, and there's something about Russian fighters. Like, they're different. Like, they are just different. So that's going to be good. I hope nobody gets hurt, like really hurt. But I think he pulls it out. But Robert's a dog. I can see Robert doing it. But what really got me is when I saw how Dricus was able to beat Robert that way. Because I thought Robert was going to beat Dricus. And Dricus put the blenders on him. So I think he's starting to lose a step, but we'll see. But I love Robert. I'm a big Whitaker fan. Now to the main event. I'm a huge Max Holloway fan. I love Max. I think Max absolutely can beat Topuria. Topuria has that thing that Poatan has. It's that catch you in mid-flight in the darkest night type of power, right? So and Max likes to chunk him. He will stand and let you hit him, and while he's hitting, like, he'll risk getting knocked out to knock you out. And I think what I saw Topuria do to Volk, who to me was unknockoutable until he got a shin to the head, and then I saw a fist to the jaw, and he was gone. Now that could be once you get knocked out, everybody knock you out. Roy Jones was getting knocked out with slaps after he got, you know what I mean? like it's that kind of thing. So I don't know if it was that, but that power showed me something. And Topuria wants to knock Max out, which could work against them. So I'm going for Max. I wouldn't be surprised if Topuria wins. It's going to be by a knockout. But I think Max, I just fucking believe it. Like, I just think he's got something, and it's just going to be great. Oh, and Max, no disrespect, I love you, boy, but your wife, that is a pretty young lady. But anyway, we'll go. She is fine, boy. She is fine. He got
I can't. There's nowhere else to go from there other than our next topic. Moving on to the very last thing that I want to drop some numbers and walk away from it. We're going to talk about our closing segment, which is What Did We Miss? Brought to you by Midnight Train Hot Sauce. You can't miss with the only hot sauce sold in Georgia. Now, I want to talk about the World Series preview now in prediction. So, who's going to win and in how many games? It's that simple. Who do you think is going to win and in how many games? Caleb, let's go to you first. Who's going to win?
Listen, I'm not even a Dodgers fan. I think the Dodgers are going to beat them. I just do. I think they just got too much firepower, too many bats. They got too many bats, and their pitching stepped up a whole lot more than what anybody thought that they would do. They were out pitching teams that technically had better pitching, right? I think because really they got Soto, Stanton, and Judge. And I just think I don't know, man. I think the Dodgers win it in 6.
Okay, Wudi.
Caleb, do you have access to my diary, man? What's up? What's up?
That's your
Dodgers in 6. Yeah, that's page 53.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm going to stop both of you. Are you guys in my brain? I had Dodgers in 6. No joke.
That's the second time this has happened. Anybody that watched this show where,
no joke. I got it written down right here in front of me. Sorry to cut you off, Wudi, but the whole thing was bananas. Anyways, continue with your thought.
No, I mean, what more is there else to say? We could all say, one, 3 people, but one like mine right here. Yeah, I mean, Dodgers in 6. That's what we expect.
And it is. And I hope that we've given you what you expected. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pop-Off. We are going to bounce for the weekend. We hope that you have a fantastic weekend. And if you know the show, you know how we end the show, which is with weekend words. Wudi, what do you got for us?
Don't put off for tomorrow what can be done today. All right? There's still plenty of day left. Go get something done.
Love it. Yes. Caleb, weekend words.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I just love it. I love moving it to just different spots because we know what he's going to say, but it's funny every time. And from me, you know what? My name is Nigel, and I'm probably going to buy a hat today. I said that with a question. I'm going to. Enjoy the weekend. We will see you here next week. You done did the thing. That was the Pop-Off. Peace, y'all. Peace.